Welcome into all the Taurus rising signs of the zodiac to your August astrology. I'm Cosmic Girl. Trust you're doing well, and thank you for being here. So we're going to talk about the planets and transits in this video, the lunations, and what it all means for you as a Taurus rising. We're going to open up the video today talking about your chart ruler Venus and what she's up to in the months, because she's your avatar in this incarnation. Congratulations. And that is your primary focus. Whenever you hear the word Venus, your ears should be pricked and like, oh, hang on, something's going on this day. So the standout dates for the month astrologically from my perspective is the 6th, the 11th, the 23rd. They're really big days astrologically, and we'll get into the astrological meat and bones of why in this video. Okay, Taurus rising. So your chart ruler Venus is still cruising through the natal third house being Cancer with exalted Jupiter. This is the moon sign in the natal third house. This is actually the house where the moon found its joy. So from the till the 25th of this month, you're working with Jupiter, and being your chart ruler Venus is working with Jupiter in the goddess's house, the moon, where she's very content. So this is a beautiful transit for Taurus rising signs until the 25th, before your chart ruler Venus moves into the natal fourth house, and we'll get into that later in this video. So up until the 25th, your primary focus, if you will, is on what environments feed your soul, what nourishes you, what supports you, what gives you a sense of safety and security in your environment, your community, with siblings, extended family members, travel and education, what really gets your emotional waters fulfilled. That's the focus until the 25th. And I don't think it's too much of a push to assume for the Taurus rising signs that you really are connecting to your heart chakra, really feeling into those intuition and emotions that serve you. So when you're in an environment, does it fill your heart and soul, or does it make you feel, oh, hang on, stop, something's off? That is your intuition talking very loudly. You're in the moon sign with exalted Jupiter until the 25th. So Jupiter amplifies and expands feelings and emotions and makes them more optimistic, inspirational. And when you can feel in your waters intuitively that something's off and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, then that's your cue from the cosmos to take note, take a break, take a seat, sit down and really be okay with not being okay if things are feeling like you're being washed over. So that's this sort of negative thing that can happen with Jupiter, because Jupiter is so big and bold and optimistic and overexpansive, it sometimes can make you feel nervous. And with nervousness, that's intuition. So trust that throughout the month of August until the 25th. It'll serve you very well. But if you're finding on the other side of the coin that Jupiter with your chart ruler until the 25th is helping you expand into community or educational opportunities, travel, even technological gadgets or cars, then this is a really good month to capitalize on getting a good deal, especially around the 11th when Jupiter and your chart ruler Venus come into a conjunction. And this is fantastic for purchasing something big that supports you, a new community, a new course, a new environment, a new start with a sibling. It's a beautiful day on the 11th, and Jupiter can really help you cash in, for better words, on opportunities and getting something that really does emotionally support you, as simple as a new phone or a new car. And so really quite positive month for you. And that's what is primarily your focus. Venus is cruising through the natal 11th house with benefic Jupiter, where he's exalted in the moon sign of joy. It's a wonderful month. Enjoy it. And if you're feeling off, then step back. give yourself some time to go, well, things are getting a bit too big, bit too much for me, then use that intelligence and intuition to know you need to reevaluate. Okay, now let's get into the planets in transit. So, with Jupiter and Venus cruising in your natal third house until the 25th, then it is go time on expanding into your heart's desire. What community, what's in your backyard, who are your neighbors, what's your local shops, who are your siblings, who are your extended family members, where are you traveling, what educational opportunities are on your mind can be a focus. And that is a lot going on in the third house. It's sort of like the astrological junk drawer of the natal houses, because the natal third house is something that's familiar to us, where we're always busy, we're always doing. So this transit can feel like there's just a lot of learning, a lot of traveling, a lot of talking, a lot of communicating, a lot of moving. There's just a lot of exacerbation, especially emotionally. Venus in Cancer, whilst very well positioned with exalted Jupiter, Venus in Cancer can be hypersensitive and focused on being a mama bear, protecting its young in Cancer. So, this transit can also have you feeling very security minded about where you extend your reach and how it's supporting you or not. You will not be suffering fools in overcompensating with this transit either, with your chart ruler Venus being here in the natal third house. You'll sort of have an intuitive nose for where it may be a little bit too much of a stretch to overextend yourself in the natal third house topics that we've discussed in length. So trust the gut, you do you, but I think the transit ultimately is quite beneficial and uplifting. You're in the moon sign of its joy, and you've got benefic Jupiter here exalted, and your chart ruler is next to the benefic, and your chart ruler Venus is also a benefic. They are life giving planets. And whilst it's wonderful to bring life to people and bring love and nurturing to people, don't forget to fill your own cup up at the same time and get reciprocation with this transit. For the whole month, Uranus, outer planet Uranus, is sextiling Saturn and Neptune. So this is a transit for the month where there can be, you're feeling like you're in a transitional stage with your livelihood, assets, possessions, skills, and resources versus doing things on your own, taking a step away from responsibility. So this month can feel a bit higgledy-piggledy regarding the constant push for doing. You may be doing a lot of evaluation in the month of August with Uranus sextiling Saturn and Neptune retrograde. Pluto retrograde for the month is sextiling Saturn and Neptune retrograde as well. So you got the outer planets sextiling and trining each other, and Saturn's in the mix. He's more a traditional planet. And so Pluto for the month sextiling Saturn and Neptune retrograde. And so from your natal 10th house to your natal 12th house, again, this points to evaluating your career, your public identity, what you want to achieve versus, oh, I need some time out. I need to do things on my own. So again, this points to evaluation about your professional direction and your aspirations and what it's going to take to get what you need to fill your own cup up in a professional capacity, but how is that going to also provide freedom to take the brakes off when you need it? So a bit of adjustment period here, I think, in the month of August is what I'm getting for you, Taurus rising. On the first, your chart ruler Venus is squaring off, so saying no, for better words, to Saturn and Neptune in the natal 12th house. So this day can feel like you're not going to go back to being overrun. So you could be challenged, if you will, in making a decision that feels like an old cycle on repeat, like an old story. So if something comes up that feels, oh, here we go again kind of sensation on the first, trust that and simply say no. If you're feeling torn, then that should be enough. That should be your answer that something's not quite right on the first. So, yeah, watch out for old cycles repeating. Moving on to the 6th, this is a pretty important day astrologically. We've got Mars ingressing into Libra, into your natal 6th house until the 22nd of September. Let's talk about this transit before we talk about the alignments on the day of the 6th, because Mars is also trining Uranus and opposing Saturn and Neptune retrograde on his entrance into Libra. And that's really, really important. But let's talk about Mars in Libra's transit and what it means for you from the 6th of August to the 22nd of September. Now, Libra is a zodiac sign about weighing pros and cons. It's about what's just and fair and balanced. It's about equality. Libra is a relationship house, a sign, excuse me. Libra is seeking out other to bounce off, communicate, and play with. Libra is an air sign. It's very social. It likes intellectual stimulation. It likes to debate and delegate. That is Libra. But this is your natal 6th house of work, injuries, illness. It's a house of service where we provide service, be that professionally or otherwise. We could just walk the neighbour's dog every day of our own volition service. So the daily grind where we just selflessly give, give, give. So on the 6th, when Mars ingresses into the natal 6th house of Libra, this is the weighing up of what's working for you and what's not in your everyday life. The natal 6th house is work and service and things that are familiar to you, and like an injury, and it's going, oh, that niggle. You go, oh, is this the time to get that surgery? Is this the time to finally get on top of things? That's the natal 6th house. Now, Mars found his joy in the natal 6th house, and Mars functions really well in the 6th house. But in Libra, Mars is more aggressively pursuing relationship and connection and things that are just and fair. So this is like fighting the good fight. This is like getting involved with unions in your workplace, getting involved with legalities, and fighting out legal aspects of your life regarding, or it could be a work contract. It could be to do with, am I getting that compensation regarding my injury, or am I getting some sort of support um, in the services that I provide? Is it balanced? Is it working out for me? So this transit is all about questioning what's fair, just, and right, and how any relationships in your immediate space regarding work and services and people that are around you on a daily, and even so much as your physical body. How are you balancing out and doing what is necessary, but not overcompensating? So this can be a really fiery transit. Now, Mars is also the ruler of your natal 12th house of Aries and the natal 7th house of Scorpio. So being the ruler of the natal 12th and the 7th with this transit of Mars in the 6th, this can be weighing up pros and cons of relationships, what you want to begin and what you want to end with relationships. What juice is worth the squeeze with partnering up? Or am I better off going it alone kind of transit with Mars in Libra from the 6th to the 22nd of September. And Mars also being the ruler of the natal 12th house of isolation and solitude and loss and institutions. This can be feeling like you want to get out of an institution, or maybe you're ready to anchor into an institution such as marriage, commitment, or something really making a big move with a company, for example. So there's a lot of evaluation going on in the month of August from the 6th to the 22nd regarding you versus others, what's fair and just and balanced, and how does it affect your daily life and your body and your sense of having harmony in the day to day and that consistent support that is needed, if at all. Yeah, really, really interesting transit with Mars in your natal sixth house. Okay, so when Mars does ingress into Libra on the 6th, it's trining Uranus in Gemini. So Uranus is an outer generational planet. It's disruptive. It's like a planet that can really throw a spanner in the works, for better or worse. And when you've got Mars in Libra trining Uranus on the 6th, this can be like a sudden change regarding your livelihood, assets, and possessions because there's something changing in your work or with your body or an injury. So you may go, you know what, the work's too much for me on my body. I'm stepping out. You know what? No, I'm not going to commit to that contract or agreement. I'm out of here. Or the other side of the coin, astrologically can indicate that you suddenly get a fortuitous offer regarding finances that help your day to day, or a relationship gives you some finance in some way and it benefits you regarding moving forward with things that you do on the daily. So, can go either way to be really astrologically fair because it is Uranus, the planet of unpredictability. We also on the 6th have Mars standing off with Saturn and Neptune retrograde. Now, this is interesting because Mars is the ruler of that 12th and it's in the 6th of Libra, fighting the good fight and going, what's fair, what's just, what do I commit to, what do I not commit to, what juice is worth the squeeze. So I like this as like philosophically standing at a doorway of one room and looking at another doorway at the other side of a room, and you're at one side with the door open, someone else has got the door open on the other side. So Mars is looking across at the other door of the room and is looking at Saturn and Neptune retrograding in its own sign. So it's like Mars is like the outsider looking at what's going on in its own home environment, what's going on in my place, if you will. And when Mars is opposed to it, Mars is feeling very distant. It's like, oh, I'm over here and you're over there. So Saturn and Neptune are retrograde in your natal 12th house of loss, isolation, institutions, where we lose ourselves, whether it's proactively or we feel like we're losing ourselves. We don't have much control. That's the natal 12th house. So Mars in the 6th house of the daily grind, work, health, services, things that we do laboriously, as looking at the 12th house going, you know, if I don't find a balance, if I don't consider the pros and cons on the 6th, just the 6th, then I can lose control here. I can end up being very isolated. So this is like a day of, if I cut things off at the knees regarding work or services or relationships, then I can be going it alone here. So I think it's a big decision day on the 6th with these alignments. On the 9th, we have our first lunation of the month, and it is a full moon in Aquarius at 17 degrees. Mars and Libra are also trining one another on our first lunation of the month. Okay, so a full moon in Aquarius at 17 degrees. This full moon's happening right at the top of your natal chart in the 10th house. This house is connected to your public name and public identity. It's the house of achievement. It's the house of anything of an official or authority nature or capacity. It's the natal house of your career. So when we have a full moon lighting up that part of the natal chart, and this is the peak moment of, I get a professional pat on the back, or I retire, I leave one part of my public identity and I begin a new identity on the 9th. It is a big day. There could be big changes in your professional industry as well on the 9th with a full moon lighting it up. Your workplace might be in the spotlight, or the industry might be in the spotlight, for better or worse, on the 9th of August. It is a very big full moon. The ruler of Aquarius, the dispositor, the planet that is governing Aquarius is Saturn, and it's currently retrograding with Neptune in your natal 12th house, which we discussed, which is loss and isolation and institutions, and where we lose ourselves, whether it's proactively or literally, we lose ourselves. We can get lost. And the ruler of the full moon in the natal 12th house indicates there could be a graduation, a moving away from an institution in a professional capacity, or you stepping into an official institution such as marriage or even a divorce. Big new full moon on the 9th. On the 11th, we have Mercury going direct in Leo at 4 degrees. On the 11th, you may revisit a conversation that was had on the 30th of June. So if you've been waiting for a green light on the 11th, it may land for better or worse, with Mercury now stationing direct in Leo at 4 degrees in your natal 4th house. So this decision or correspondence or communication that you may have been weighing up, for better words, is happening in the natal 4th house. This is home, family, your domestic life, real estate, property, parents, parenting, it's ancestry, it's your lineage. So something may start to move forward now within your private zone, the natal 4th house, that feels pretty secure, pretty nourishing, and very abundant. So this could be finances, communication, or a change within your parents that is quite positive on the 11th. Something really quite positive is moving forward now that Mercury is direct in Leo in your natal 4th house. And Mercury will be here all month. From the 11th to the 18th, Mercury is sextiling Mars. Mercury and Mars are buddies, and this sextile is happening from your 4th house to your 6th house. This is a lot of in and out of the home, going to work and then lots going on at home, providing a lot of service and putting a lot of energy into your daily environment, and then needing to work on something within the family, a parent, or a home. It's a very busy time from the 11th to the 18th with Mercury sextiling Mars. So this is emails, phone calls, text messages, correspondence, travel, financial communication. It's a lot from the 11th to the 18th. And we also have on the 11th your chart ruler Venus now conjuncting Jupiter in your natal 3rd house of Cancer at 13 degrees. Okay, so this is where you can give the green light, for better or worse, to someone regarding a work decision, a service that you provide, or agreeing to go forward with a group or a friend, or anchoring into a commitment to step into a new dream or goal of yours. So, yeah, you're making a very big announcement on the 11th, and I think it can have to do with something that you do on the daily, and maybe even an ally or beneficiary has been waiting for you to make a decision. I think it lands on the 11th. From the 12th to the 31st, Uranus is trining Pluto retrograde. Yeah, this can be like a from the 12th to the 31st, Uranus hooking up with Pluto retrograde. There's going to be a lot of umming and ahhing again. Am I in or am I out? So what's your livelihood versus what do you do with your work? Is it matching up? Does it feel good what you're doing on a daily? How does it affect or improve your finances or affect your finances in a negative way? So there could be a lot of adjustments going on here from the 12th to the 31st. On the 22nd, the Sun leaves Leo, its sign of domicile in your natal fourth house, and is moving into the natal fifth house till September 22nd. The Sun in the fifth is shining, for better words, on your intimate partnerships, children, creativity, anything artistic, sex, and fertility for 4 weeks. Now, the Sun is very dominant. It's fatherly, it's solar, it's leadership, it's pride, it's let's get a job done. So for 4 weeks, the focus with the Sun in the natal fifth house is taking controlling, creating something that brings you joy and pleasure. So whether that is a new health routine, learning something new, getting into deeper soul connections with your intimate relationships, getting more into the nitty gritty of sex and how sex is pleasurable to you, and maybe that's been on the burner. Well, the Sun for 4 weeks now is going, yeah, let's get into sex. Let's take control of our sexual power and life. Let's talk about children. What are we going to create? What gives us fun? What gives us joy? So the focus for 4 weeks from the 22nd of August to the 22nd of September is empowering enjoyment and how that benefits the family or your domestic life. So it's a big transit, but a really fun one at that. So enjoy the Sun in the fifth for 4 weeks. On the 23rd, we have our second lunation of the month, and it is a new moon at 0 degrees of Virgo, conjuncting fixed star Regulus. This is the fixed star of royalty, fame, and power. And this new moon's happening for you in your natal fifth house. It's the first new moon of two. There'll be a second new moon in the month of September, but that will be a solar eclipse. Okay, so the fact that this new moon's conjunctive fixed star Regulus, this packs a punch, new moon kind of thing. So I'm wondering if there is a new environment, a new educational pursuit, a new travel destination, or something to do with travel, um, something within the community that really gets your heart racing on the 23rd and you're all in, or something to do with siblings and extended family members. Looks like there's a big new beginning happening here that really inspires you, gets you going on the 23rd. But it's a quiet new beginning. It's not revealed like a full moon. It's an internalizing of creation, literal creation. What am I creating that brings me joy and pleasure on the 23rd? Could be influenced by the natal third house of travel, community, education, siblings, and extended family members. Could be quite a big new beginning going on that's really ticking your boxes on the 23rd. Enjoy it. The next day on the 24th, the Sun squares off with Uranus. Yes, again, Uranus is so unpredictable. It can be very shaky on the 24th regarding, oh, am I in, am I out kind of day. So this is another day of questioning. So take it easy on your mental health, okay? On the 25th, Venus now leaves Jupiter behind in Cancer in your natal third house to do his magic until the 30th of June 2026. And Venus in the natal fourth house now of Leo until September 19. She's having some aspects when she arrives in Leo in your natal fourth house. So let's talk about the aspects first before we talk about your chart ruler's transit of Leo. Okay. Now, Venus trining Saturn and Neptune retrograding and sextiling Uranus in Gemini. This is a day of, I am on the money kind of day. This feels very certain about what ticks your box and you're all in it kind of day. So this could be a day of I'm doing what I want to do and I feel really good about it. So this is firm, affirmative intuition on point on the 25th of this feels right for me. This feels nourishing, supportive. This feels inspirational and exciting, and you're all up in it on the 25th. So this is a great day to plan something that really inspires you. But your chart ruler Venus is opposing Pluto in the natal 10th house. So this is like going against your career, going against something of an official capacity. So this is like I don't want to play with anything big right now. I just want to snuggle up at home and do what I love kind of day. So this can be a day of you have to go to work, but then all of a sudden you go, no, actually I'm calling in sick. So it's a day of indulgence and not wanting to participate in anything official or be so career or public identity driven on the 25th. Well, good for you. You do you. Okay, so let's talk about Venus's transit in Leo in your natal fourth house from the 25th to September 19. So, with your chart ruler in the natal fourth, the focus, if you will, is on play, sports, entertainment, fun, frivolity, being childlike, and being creative. Fun and joy within the family unit. This is an exciting transit for you with your chart ruler in that angular part of your natal chart of domestic life, home, family, parents, parenting, your roots, your ancestry, anything to do with real estate and property bodes really, really well from the 25th to September 19. This is all about fun at home, fun with family, making new relationships and connections with family. You could be in bringing in a new family member by marriage or just a new girlfriend or boyfriend or maybe even a puppy. So something quite uplifting, joyful, and childlike is happening from the 25th to September 19. It's a wonderful transit. Enjoy it. And parents could get a serious boost here as well. If parents are in your life, parents may be really kicking goals at this time, which is nice. When your parents are doing well, they're off your back. Really nice transit. That is your astrology for the month of August. I trust you have a fabulous one. If you need to have anything sort of nutted out astrologically and you're going, oh, I don't really understand that, or I want to know what's going on with my own natal chart, you can contact me at cosmicgirl101 at protonmail.com. Till next time, Taurus rising signs, stay cosmic.